Sometimes brands make some questionable flavors. So today I'll be taking some iconic products and giving them some terrible flavors. Starting with one of the most popular brands, Lay's. And the flavor I'm gonna make is birthday cake, because that sounds terrible, but also kind of believable. So first, let's change the color of this chip bag to pink, and then put some blue on the top half. Next, I'll add the Lay's logo at the top and add the text that tells us the flavor. But obviously, this isn't the classic flavor, so let's change that text to say birthday cake. I'm also gonna add some confetti at the top for some more party vibes, but let's also make them all white so it's not too distracting from the rest of the design. Now let's show the product by adding a nice potato chip at the bottom, but let's give them a friend like the original bags do. I'm also gonna adjust the brightness on the chips to make them actually look like Lay's, but we also need to add some of the legally required text at the bottom, so let's not forget about that, or else, we might get sued. This looks pretty nice so far, but these chips don't really look any different than the original chips, so let's put some sprinkles on the chip and then make all the green sprinkles blue to match the bag. I'm also gonna add some sprinkles onto the other chip, and that's basically it. So here is the birthday cake chips. Let me know in the comments if you buy these, but let's move on to the next product, which is Fairlife milk. But instead of a nice flavor like chocolate or strawberry, I think we should make a cucumber flavor. There is actually a thing called cucumber milking, where you get the juice out of a cucumber, but it's not actual milk, and I think if you mixed cucumber juice and milk together, it would probably be one of the worst things humans have ever created. So let's design it as a product. I recreated the shapes and design of the Fairlife bottle, and then changed the colors to green. So now we'll go to our bottle mock-up and change the cap color to green as well before adding that background design we just made. I'll add the flavor and the text that goes below it, and now let's copy the facts from the original bottle. I'll add the Fairlife logo to the top, but we'll keep it all blue because I feel like that makes it pop and it just looks a little bit better. Now let's add that 50% less sugar text, but I'm actually gonna change it to 75% because, we're using cucumbers, so it's kind of healthy, I guess. But let's make that green before adding some sliced cucumbers at the bottom to show us the flavor. I adjusted the cutout and then added a drop shadow, but finally I'll add a camera raw filter to make them look a little bit better, and that's basically it. So this is what Cucumber Fairlife would look like. Would you try this? I definitely would not. So let's move on to something maybe a little bit more sweet. And by that, I mean Oreos. Because they've actually had a lot of crazy flavors, but these don't actually look that bad. So the new flavor we'll be adding to the Oreo roster is a jalapeno flavor. But before we do that, if you're enjoying the videos, don't forget to subscribe because we're almost at 100,000 subscribers, which is actually insane. So first, let's put the Oreo logo on the top with a little shadow. Next, we'll add the text for our new flavor and copy the same effect from the logo. Now we'll add a milk splash and remove some of the parts we don't need to make it a little bit more simple, like the sides on the bottom. But I noticed this yellow tab showing the amount of Oreos in the package, and I think we should change the color of that to match the vibe of the jalapenos, as well as the cream in the middle. After that, we need to cut around a copy of the milk so that we can add this jalapeno pepper and place it in between them. Now let's add an Oreo in front of the jalapeno pepper and then also adjust the Oreo color to make it look more like chocolate. I'll select the stuff inside and adjust the color of that to a green color, but that just kind of looks the same as the mint version, so let's make it a little more gross. I cut out a few pepper flakes and placed them on the side of the Oreo and adjusted the shapes a bit. Then I'll add some shadows to make them look a bit more like they're inside the cream. I also added some pepper flakes to the small Oreo on the top left and also adjusted the Oreos on the top of the package because I wasn't able to remove that, so we are gonna have to edit that. Honestly, the left side of this packaging is pretty empty, so let's add some text saying special flavor where it would usually say original. Let's change the text to a font called Milker, which isn't the reason I'm using it, but it definitely makes me like it more. So this is a normal pack of Oreos, and this is our special flavor. I think the worst flavor would definitely be one of these two. I feel like someone would actually like these somehow. But don't forget to check out some of my other videos and subscribe if you enjoyed.